maximum security prison in Virginia.
Mhm.
And this dude's like, yo, man, I see you out here on the yard, man. You're hustling. You got a little influence. He's like, what are you going to do when they change the law, man? They bring back parole. You're going to go down there and tell them you got caught with a knife, that you've been selling heroin in prison, that, you've been the shot caller. Is that what you're going to tell them? Because if so, you're not going to get out. And, in jail, I would buy anything that people had from the street. Like I had a white G-Shock watch. I had Oakley sunglasses.
Yeah.
Anything that people had, like I wanted to still feel like I was free.
True.
He said, man, you can have all that shit, man. You can have the nice watches, new sneakers every time they come out on commissary. You can have it for the next 40 years. Or you can start working on getting out, bro. He said, come to this class. So I went to this class that he was teaching, right? Like the warden had him teach the class to the staff and to the prisoners. It's called Leaders Breed Leader. I checked it out. I talked to him like, all right, man, yeah, I see, thank you, bro, for, letting me come down here and all of that shit. And eventually I ended up leaving that prison shortly thereafter, right? I ended up getting in some shit. Kid tries to hit me with a rock and a net bag. He owed me money and tries to hit me.
Oh, shit.
But then a few years later, I'm on the bus, and guess who's on the bus with that dude that told me about parole? He said, hey, man, you remember me? I said, yeah, I remember you. He said, man, you're on your way to a FCI. You must have turned some things around. I said, yeah, a little bit, stayed out of the way. He said, they're going to change the law soon, man. What are you going to do? And I was like, man, I'm getting my life together. I'm going to an FCI. And he is the dude that motivated me to write my judge. And I wrote my judge. I got a job in education, started working down there for about a year, and he said, write the judge. I said, I ain't writing the judge. He said, man, write the judge, man. Tell him all the good shit you're doing.
Yeah.
So I did. And the judge wrote me back.
Wow.
So when the judge writes me back, he says, you were always a smart kid. You just channeled it in the wrong way. He said,
yeah,
I wish the best for you and keep pushing. So that was the start of me getting out of prison, man.
What motivation.
Right.
Wow.
So, and then I end up going to school. I get a job as a law clerk. I'm working in education. I help write the reentry program over there. It started to feel good to help other people. Now I kind of felt like even though I had 40 years, I had a purpose now.
Yeah.
When I do get out, I'm going to be 60 years old, man.
Yeah.
So I started to educate myself because when I get out at 60, I started thinking, well, I'm going to get a hot dog cart. I'm going to maybe I can go work at a law office. I gotta do something. My mom will be gone, my aunts, my uncles.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 60 years old getting out of prison. I came in at 24.
Yeah.
And I used to think any type of social integration, it's probably over with. How can I ever communicate with people in the world?
Yeah.
But anyway, eventually everything that this guy told me, Cedric Dean, he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's doing big, big things.
Good shout out.
Dude, this dude's phenomenal, man. People can Google Cedric Dean.
Perfect. Yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina. He ran for mayor down there and everything after doing 25 years in federal prison.
Golly.
Been in a couple movies, wrote over 30 books. He's got a contract with the feds now for housing prisoners that are getting out. He owns his own mental health thing. He's doing big, big things.
What an incredible guy. Wow. That's
everything
incredible.
that Cedric told me turned out. They changed the law.
Yeah.
And eventually me writing my judge, sending him all the stuff that I was doing, eventually it played a part in the judge saying, you know what? I'm going to find that there's extraordinary and compelling reasons in this case. One is your rehabilitation.
Yeah.
I've never seen a federal prisoner do as much as you have done in prison. So one, your rehabilitation is an extraordinary and compelling reason to reduce the sentence. And the change in law, although it wasn't retroactive, Congress said that these laws are wrong.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to give you 25 years for a second gun in
Yeah.
the same indictment. That was meant as a recidivist enhancement, right? Where
Yeah.
you go to federal prison, you didn't learn your lesson, you got out of federal prison and got a gun again. But what they would do is law enforcement would use it as a tool to really bang you. They let your house get busted with drugs and a gun.
Yeah.
Let you go so they can catch you again within a couple weeks with another gun and drugs. So now it wasn't just 5 years and 10 years for the drugs. Now it was 5 for the first gun, 25 for the second, and 10 for the drugs, all stacked.
Wow.
That's how they were eliminating people, dude.
That's
So,
incredible.
the judge believed in me, man. And, all bullshit aside, I got out. Like I said, I got remarried. I got kids. The first year I was home, now I wasn't even home a year. My judge had wrote me January 14th, 2021, right? And said that he was happy that I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And 3 months ago, he invited me, my wife, and my kids to his chamber.
Yeah.
I was actually in the judge's chambers, and he told me, I went out on a limb to help you. He said, you wrote me a letter years ago that said you would never let me down and never disappoint me. He said, keep doing the right thing, man. Don't disappoint me. Don't let me down.
Dude, that's incredible too. Like,
That's
think
awesome.
of this story. Think of this as like a story arc. You couldn't fucking write this, right? You're a young kid. You get busted by this judge. Later on, right? You were on the one side where you're getting prosecuted, right? Now you're on the other side where you're doing, like, you're the defendant. You're helping the defendant, right?